My guy, what it do?
What up?
Man, what up, man?
So, I just want to start off by saying,
Yes.
people are like, yo, Coop, why y'all working on a holiday? Well, because our ancestors were working on this holiday too. How about that?
Yo.
How about that? Our ancestors were working on this holiday. That's why I'm working. I'm doing the thing that my ancestors would have been doing on this holiday, which is going to work, because they weren't partaking in the celebration. That's neither here nor there. How you doing, Sean?
I'm doing great, man. I had to take my face off the camera for a second while you get that off.
They were working. They were working on this day, and not at their own behest. So that's why we're pulling up today.
Yo, we did not talk about this, man. We did not talk.
We didn't talk about it all. Because you want to know what? I'm upset. And I'm going to tell you what I'm upset, because I understand how the nature of the threat works. We can go ahead and call this the corner. We can go ahead and pull up into the corner. This can go ahead and be the corner for the day.
Oh, boy.
I'm gonna tell you. No. I'm gonna tell you why I'm mad, son. I'm gonna tell you why I'm mad.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
I've lived in this area, this neighborhood, for 14 going on 15 years now. It is a predominantly white neighborhood. Okay. Part of why I moved up here, well, I ain't no part of. The main reason I moved up here is because I wanted my daughter to have the advantages and the privileges that all the white children in this area were bequeathed, quite frankly. I wanted her having the same advantages and same privileges. No. I wanted her having smooth roads, low crime rate, excellent school district with the newest books. Man, if there's a pothole in these streets, that shit'll be gone in 2 days, 48 hours, okay? I wanted her to have the best of the best. Here's why I moved up here, but I also understand how the nature of the threat works. Here's how the nature of the threat works. I've seen a new pride in the 4th of July take place since the pandemic, as we've begun to make Juneteenth more of a celebration. I've never seen so many American flags up in this neighborhood that I've seen in the last 2 days. Like, not my neighborhood in particular, like the entire pocket that I live in.
No doubt.
I've been up here long enough to know that it wasn't like this. The biggest landowners in the area, like, they literally own the most acreage in the area. They live they're not even 2 miles away from me. They're literally doing a fireworks celebration. I've been passing this acreage of land since my daughter was about 3 years old. They've never done a fireworks celebration. They are literally opening up their land to let people park on their land for the fireworks celebration. The flags are everywhere. I've never seen it before.
Yeah.
So understand the way the nature of the threat works. As you continue to grow and become wise and branch off, so is the focus intent on, oh, well, this is the real holiday. That's what they're really trying to say. This is the real holiday. And it's like, no, it is a real holiday. I'm not taking anything away from your holiday. You just don't have to ramp up the intensity on your holiday to try to step on my people again. And I see it in my neighborhood. The neighbors around me, I've been in this neighborhood for 3-4 years now. Oh no, never seen an American flag outside or parked on any mailboxes. Oh, but this year there is. It's the nature of the threat, because it's like, oh no, Juneteenth is a national holiday now. It's like, they don't like that shit. So understand, when I'm talking about systemic and institutional racism so much, this is the fabric of it. And I guarantee you, half these people that are doing this, I'm just proud of this country. I'm just proud to be an American. I bet you are. But you became more proud when Black people started getting credit and claiming their own holiday. You know, it's kind of funny how that works. I'm not, and half of them don't know. Like, see, here's the thing about racism that people understand. About 20 to 40% of the people who are racist don't even realize how racist they are, because they've been programmed for so long generationally to behave a certain way. Like, this is the response to Juneteenth that I'm seeing in this neighborhood. and it's disgusting. We should we shouldn't get your pride shouldn't depend on us celebrating our heritage without you. You should just have pride. Like, I don't have a problem. This is what I mean about white privilege. Do I have a problem with the flags? Do I have a problem with the fireworks? Do I have a problem with the celebration? It's like, no. But why are you ramping it up when Juneteenth gets ramped up? Why aren't you always this amped about your holiday? Why did it take Juneteenth becoming a national holiday for all these American flags to pop up? For you to let all these white people on your land finally after all these years. For the last 15 years, you ain't been letting nobody on your damn land. You know who you are. White or black. You've been an equal opportunity hater when it comes to letting people on your land. I saw the gates to that farm open and I was like, ain't this some shit? Only time I've seen these motherfuckers the last 15 years is when they've been mowing their grass.
Yo, man.
Now the whole neighborhood's invited. The flags are up everywhere. The houses across the street. Flags up everywhere. I'm like, ain't this fun a bitch? See, but here's the thing about it. Because this area is mostly white, they think that the black people in this area aren't paying attention. They don't know my woke ass is up here. They don't know. They don't know I'm watching. Disgusting. Disgusting. And these are the things. And this makes me not want to celebrate. You get what I'm saying? Like, just to be like, nah, fuck your team. That's where we are. So, like to end all that by saying, Happy 4th to everybody.
This dude
Happy
right
4th.
Here, man.
Great time. Let's celebrate tonight.
Yo, let's celebrate, man. Yo, shout out to AG. AG's probably eating mad glizzies right now. I think he entered the glizzy contest today, so he couldn't make it on here. He's trying to beat the world record for scarfing down glizzies. So shout out to my man AG. Shout out to AG. Shout out to the team. Shout out to my man Andrew. Shout out to Stacks. Shout out to Taj Boogie. Keep Taj and the family. Jamaica, all of the the islands in prayer. They had a very tough situation out there with that Hurricane 5 that touched down in that area, tropical storm that touched down in that area. So much love and much support to anyone who's been impacted by that hurricane out there in the islands.
I reached out to Taj today.
Yeah.
And talked to her. She said the airport don't have no roof.
Yeah. It's pretty jacked up right now.
Which means you can't leave.
No.
But that means it's also dangerous to stay.
Yeah.
And let me just say something about Taj, because I mean, no, people don't really see Taj. Of all the people that I know, you know who checked up on me the most when my aunt passed? Taj.
Yeah.
How you doing? You okay? What's your mental health look like? You need anything? You good? How your family holding up? She reached out to me more than anybody else did when my aunt passed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the same thing get reciprocated. It's like, yeah, that's just like, people don't know her, but that's how she is.
No doubt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I told her, like, prayers your way to you, your family, the whole situation. Yeah. So yeah, prayers up for Jamaica, for Taj, for Taj's family, like all that. She would do the same. You don't know her, but she would do the same for you.
Absolutely.
I'm saying, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people watching. It's like she would do the same for you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Little sis. The super chat 007 Queens get the money. Kendrick coming out to play. No doubt. That video dropping, I think, either tonight or this weekend. They got the visuals for that video for Not Like Us. Got him hitting on the pinata, the owl pinata. So K-Dot is on it, man. He's on top of it. He's not playing around right now. He's going crazy.
I mean, before we talk about the real GOAT, we can talk about this guy.
Yo, come on, man. Yo, we don't have the time. We got
No. Just real quick. Word on the street is that an album's about to drop.
Yeah. It's about to be crazy. Some crazy times. K-Dot classic.
But okay, so if he's about to drop an album, then Drake was right. you got engaged in all of this because you needed buzz for your next album because your last album was a dud.
Come on, cool.
Yeah, it's a dud. It's a dud. The last album was a dud.
Come on,
You did
man.
promotion. I don't care if he's up. I'm here to put it down. All right. I don't care if he's up.
Yo,
All right. Album better be stellar.
it will
Stellar.
be. He's in a groove right now. He's in a groove.
He's in a Distant Drake groove. We don't know if he's in an artistic groove. That's why we're going to talk about It Was Written. He doesn't
He's
have it. It
motivated.
Was Written.
He, he's motivated right now, cool. He's
Motivated by what? He's the
By
best.
Drake.
He's the best rapper of this generation. It's just like this is the weakest generation. So what's he
But he's
motivated by?
He needed that spark. He needed that spark. He needed something to make him want to come back out to put together a great project. That's all it is. No different with Jay. When Jay came at Nas in 2001, Nas needed a spark to get him back to say, I'm him.
And
I'm
that's
him.
why.
Let me show him why.
And that's why this album needs to be Stillmatic level.
Yeah. It has. You can't come out with just a solid effort. It has to be a great effort.
I told you it needs to be
off the heels of this. Yeah.
It needs to be better than Damn, but I'm not expecting it to be as good as Good Kid, Mad City, or To Pimp a Butterfly. I'm not expecting him to achieve those heights again. The same way I'm not expecting Nas to remake Illmatic or It Was Written again. But oh no, he better make his Stillmatic right now. And if he does, you know who's going to be the first person that's going to give it up to him? Me.
You have
I'll be the first person to be like, man, this album is fucking phenomenal.
Yes.
I was wrong.
Yes.
I wasn't wrong about the 7 years, but I was wrong about this project being great because I don't think that it's going to be great. And I'll be the first person to say it. That's if he does it.
I think he does it. I think he will. I think he will. If we're going to bring T2 on the show to talk about it, to give a deep dive on it, pause. We're going to bring T2 and some of the other K-Dot fans on the show so they can give us their take on it. It's going to be a K-Dot takeover when the album drops.
I don't want to let his fans I don't want to let his fans do anything or go anywhere. They have run amok on this culture. They are the worst. They're the worst kind of people. They're the worst kind of people. I don't know who's worse, these white people in my neighborhood or the Kendrick. It's a toss-up. It's a toss-up. White people in the neighborhood, Kendrick fans. It's like I don't know what type of stupidity I want to choose.
Oh my goodness.
They're the worst. Worst fans.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Let's go ahead and make it happen.
Let's go ahead. First of all, after this show, we're going to go to Station Head. Shout out to my man Trife Boogie, Trife Diesel, Trife the original engineer. Trife and Ayana was at the Nas concert recently this past weekend, and they're going to share the actual set from the concert. Or they're going to talk about some of the things they saw behind the scenes. And we're going to talk about that on Station Head. But for right now, Coop and I have the floor, and we're going to talk about It Was Written song by song, and want to get your thoughts and opinions inside the chat as well. So cool. Let's start it, man. Where you want to go? You talk a little bit behind the scenes when you first got in the chair. Where you want to start at, man?
Okay. So given what we talked about yesterday, we don't need to talk about the lyrics on this album.
No.
There's nothing there aren't enough adjectives that we can describe about how masterful he is lyrically on this album. Mm-hmm. How, you know what he is of all the lyricists too that I realized? He's the greatest MC of all time because he's the most digestible of the high-level lyricists too. Mm-hmm. So the only thing that we need to really discuss lyrically about him today is the fact that of all the top-level lyricists, he's the one that you understand the first time around when you hear it.
No doubt.
But you're still amazed when you hear it.
No doubt.
Like Rakim Thought don't have that. You know?
Yeah. They don't relate. You can't relate. You can't connect the dots when you're listening to that level of yeah.
Right. So that's the thing to say. But I listened to It Was Written today. And the things that I want to talk about is I want to talk about the nuances. First of all, this is more of a collaborative effort than people realize. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like it's a solo mission, but when you really start paying attention, there's a lot of low-key things that happened on this album that made it really, really powerful, that put it over the top. And so I want to discuss those things. Yes. I want to discuss the producers and the production and why the producers were chosen. Because when I listened to it today, I was like, these beats ain't that bad. Matter of fact, most of these beats are pretty damn good. As a matter of fact, there's only a couple of beats on the album that are suspect, and it ain't the song Suspect.
Mm-hmm.
We already know about the lyrics, so I want to get into the hook. I want to get
Okay,
into the
tell me
producers.
more. Tell me more.
Want to get into the guest appearances. This is what I mean. So he's a better song maker on It Was Written than he is on Illmatic. Because
Yes.
the people that are behind him understand certain things. The first thing that I noticed today is that when I was listening to Watch Them Niggas, I was like, yo, this song's not the same if Foxy doesn't do this hook with him because of his tone.
Yes.
Like, she makes that song a full and complete song. Like, it needed her on the hook. It's not the same without her on the hook.
Right.
It's not. Because they're doing the hook together.
Yes.
But her voice is so powerful over his on that particular track. Like, she's so throaty on the track. Pause.
Yeah.
But it's what but it's what helps his melodic storytelling verses. It breaks the monotony of that so that you actually can listen to the verses and enjoy them. If it's just him doing that hook, he obviously wrote that hook and layered that hook, and somebody, probably him or whoever else was involved, told her to come layer over the top of it. It makes all the difference in the world in that record. Like, that record to me is still one of the weaker songs on It Was Written. That's not saying much, but I don't even know if that song should make the album if she doesn't do that hook. Because bar-wise, he's got enough bars on here. It's like, oh yeah, it's like a great lyrical performance. Every record on here is a great lyrical performance, dummy.
Yes. Every single one. No bar is wasted. No line is wasted. And you're right, Cool. Just for Foxy's presence and just the small ad-libs in there. Just the small stuff that's saying, what, word, like just that little small ad-lib to me adds a different layer to it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just when you add those different pieces to it in real time, you don't pay attention to it. When you go back and you listen to it over and over and you start kind of really processing, digesting it, it start making more sense. The little small ad-lib, the small piece that's added to the end of it, it brings it full circle for me in a song like that.
It's beautiful. You want to know what I noticed today? And it's one of those things that I've always noticed, but I didn't realize the importance of it. AZ is at the end of the message.
Yeah.
That's AZ talking. Like AZ's in the studio with Nas when the message is being made.
Talking. Yes.
Y'all throwing slugs, we throwing them back, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's talking. He's talking.
Yeah, he's talking at the end. That's AZ on the intro of the album with Nas.
Mm-hmm.
And that's AZ at the end of the message. So it's like, it's more of a team effort than people realize. When I thought about it today, I really sat and I thought to myself, it's like, oh shit, it's like AZ was in the studio while the message was being made.
Right. Because everyone was clicking up at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of collaborative efforts were for a specific album during that time as well. Because everyone wasn't getting that. Everyone wasn't getting, like, you think about Big. Big had Bad Boy, the Bad Boy Machine behind him. He had Junior Mafia with him. He had a collective. And Bad Boy was building their roster up as well. 95 was like a building mode for Big and for Bad Boy. 95 and 96 was that building mode. You're starting to kind of round out your roster. You bring the locks, you bring a young locks in. You bring in, all the, Craig Mack was still doing this thing at this time. Biggie was, all of that was going on. So there was a time where you had to click up in some fashion. You had to. Because everyone else was like really finding their pocket, just joined Death Row.
So I'm glad that you brought up Clicked Up. You understand the dude that bought Queens back? Excuse me. He's got two Brooklyn niggas with him. AZ and Fox are from Brooklyn, Sean. You know how nice this nigga is?
Yes.
You know how nice, you know how nice this dude is? That he's got, think about this. He's got the best group from Queens behind him on this album, Havoc and P Mobb Deep. He's got arguably the best lyricist in Brooklyn at the time, like pure lyricist in AZ. Not saying he's a better MC than Big or J, but pure lyricist. And he's got Fox too.
Yes, Fox. Yes.
Like, this is 95, 96, fam. Like, that's not no small pull off. Like, he's not only clicked up, he's got Brooklyn and Queens clicked up. And he never really said anything about it. But when you think about it, it's like half the firm is from Brooklyn.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
So he wasn't
Absolutely.
even on no Queensbridge shit. He was on some super team shit.
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. And cool. That's not counting the ties to Raekwon and Ghost at that time as well. And he was
Hold on.
running. He was running with Ray Hard. Pause. He was running with Ray Hard at that time. Nas and Ray was inseparable in '95 and '96, to the point where the only reason Ray probably wasn't on it was written was because of label politics. You know, Raekwon being on Loud and Nas being on Sony.
Well, also too, Ray is touring. He's on his Purple Tape run.
Yeah.
Liquid Swords and Iron Man is being made. He's a key contributor to Iron Man. He's the best MC on Iron Man.
Oh my goodness.
No
Good.
disrespect to Ghost. He's the best MC on Iron
Yeah.
Man. So
Yeah.
they were they were Wu-Tang was in the midst of having the best group run ever, while Nas was in the midst of having the best MC run ever. And so it just
Who was
the
at that
time and
Zenith?
space and the
Yeah.
opportunity wasn't there. But he put people together. Like, think
Yeah.
about this. When I listen to Affirmative Action today, and I'm like, this record don't get enough credit.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. When we talk about great posse cuts, it never comes up.
No.
And when I
No
listen
bars
to it, I'm
wasted.
like, other than Foxy's arithmetic not adding up on the second half, like the arithmetic just didn't add up on the last three to five
Yeah.
bars. No,
I'm okay with that.
she was on par with how she was flipping keys and chopping the bricks up until like the last couple bars. The arithmetic was a little off. Outside the arithmetic being off, it's a stellar song.
It's a great song. It's a great song. Everything on that song was great to me. Affirmative Action, everything. Mega came through. Everybody was doing
Mega
everything.
That's what I was about to point out. Mega came through fresh out of jail.
Absolutely. Absolutely. AZ setting everything off. It was crazy. It was a flawless setup to a potential super group at that time that we saw coming up. And it's unfortunate that the way, kind of things unfolded, because you take Mega out that equation and you threw in Nature. No disrespect to Nature at all, but you threw Nature in that equation later on down the line. It threw off the chemistry, because you had every element. You had the rawness and the realness of Mega, someone who's not as polished as an MC as Nas and AZ, but he still give you that rawness that you need at that time.
So here's the thing. When I listened to Affirmative Action today, I realized, and I fuck with Nature, and Nature's a dope ass MC.
Yeah.
No, the chemistry on Affirmative Action and on the what's the unreleased track, the other track that they did together with Mega?
I know you're talking about. It was like the firm.
La Familia.
La Familia joint. Yeah. It was like a Lucy before the album. Yeah.
La Familia and Affirmative Action, chemistry wise, are better almost than everything that's on the Firm album, with the exception of Phone Tap. You understand that? Because that was the team that actually got built. It's like you build the team and you're on the verge of like winning a championship, and then you got to trade one of the key players at the last moment for another player. Comparable talent, but not the same results in terms of chemistry. The chemistry on Affirmative Action, when I listen to that and I listen to La Familia, I'm like, oh no, the chemistry's different, because Nature's not used to rapping with these guys. Mega got home and got in with these guys and was piggybacking off of them.
And it was the Mega's energy. I see Dre 7. I'm not saying that Mega was a better lyricist than Nature. Nature had a phenomenal run. Don't get it twisted. Nature was smoking everything. You don't get in the studio with Dre and you're not good at that time. You just don't get that. And Nature was smoking everything. I'm just talking about the synergy and the energy that Mega was able to bring.
Nature's a better lyricist than Mega.
Yes.
But this is what I mean about Mega being more of a key fabric than we realize.
Yes.
You know the I Shot Your remix that Foxy's on?
Yes.
You know, if you watch the video, that's AZ and Core Mega right there with her.
Right. They're flanking her. Right.
This is a year before it was written.
Right. And Nas did that. Yeah, it was Nas, but they were flanking her when the flashes were going.
They were literally flanking her while she was spitting that verse. Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Like they were coming. Like they had it mapped out a year before we even got Affirmative Action in Los Angeles.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They were mapping out since 95. It's really since after 94.
Pretty much when Mega got home, they started mapping out.
Right.
And so when I look back at those things, it's like, oh no, this is different. When I hear Affirmative Action, that's what the Firm album's supposed to sound like.
That's what exactly what it sounded like. And I think that's why people disappointed in the Firm album, because we already had true quantifiable evidence to prove that these guys together was putting something great together. But however you want to chop it up, they were putting together good work. From the mixtapes, the Lucy's, to the joint on It Was Written, as a collective, as a duo, they were hitting on every cylinder. Nothing was amiss as them together before the Firm came out.
Correct. So these are key moments, and here's why it's so key. Well, because Cormega wasn't on the Firm album, how many core Firm songs do we actually have? This is the best song of all the core Firm songs.
Yes.
It's not the biggest woulda, shoulda, coulda in rap history, but it's one of them. Because if they would have had Dr. Dre behind them with that chemistry intact, we're looking at a totally different album. We're looking at a totally different album.
It would have been different, cool. Like you had that interview with the Glove, and he was saying how many hands was in that pot. It was, that whole thing was destined to be destroyed before it even started. You had too much going on, straight up. The fact that Nori had the best song on that Firm album, When I'm Leaving.
I think I'm leaving a second to Phone Tap, but I do understand what you're saying. Just the fact, how about this? Nori shouldn't have a top 5 song on a Firm album, let alone a top 2 song.
Exactly.
And why is the second best song on a Firm album not have Nas or AZ on it? It's fucking Noriega and Nature. It's like, what the fuck going on?
And Nori killed that. Nori killed it. And
that's Nori's coming out party. If you're not familiar with the War Report by CNN, that's a lot of people's first time hearing Noriega for real.
Oh my goodness. That's a Corona Queens classic. That's like
that's
our national anthem. Album.
I told people that Nori was coming. Like when I was in Charlotte, when I heard I'm leaving, and like people thought I was like, they're like the dude from CNN. They're like, I'm like, no, I'm like, he's got something. I'm not saying he's Nas. I'm not saying he's AZ like on the mic, like lyrically, but he got something going on that's special. And he had and Nori had a great run.
He did. Phenomenal run.
Run.
Yeah, the first album was actually managed by Jungle. Shout out to Jungle. Jungle actually managed that first album, the NORE album.
Yeah, he managed Noriega. He managed Nature and Mega for a minute too, if memory serves.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Let's go now to my favorite record.
Okay.
Setup. No, that's Havoc doing the hook. Yeah. That's Roxanne Shante at the end of the setup. QB, motherfucker, roping niggas up. Because our clique is thick. Another day, another dollar. More money, more murder. Fuck this shit. QB up in the house.
Yes.
The fullness of the song comes together. It's not just Nas's storytelling lyrics. The storytelling lyrics are at an apex. It's the best you're going to find. We've said this before. It's like, no, Havoc on the hook, Havoc on the beat, Roxanne Shante at the end. Community, group effort.
Yes.
These songs feel full and feel finished because he had the appropriate amount of help while still allowing it to be a solo mission.
Yes. Do you think Steve Stout involvement brought that to where it was? Before you answer that, hold on. I'm sorry, I just saw a stupid chat. Dame252 says, I appreciate the $5 super chat, Dame. Is it me or is Lupe too complex? So much so he kind of bores you. Yeah.
That's what I mean. All those other guys that rhyme lyrically on the level that Nas does, sometimes it's too scientific. Sometimes it's too detailed. Sometimes it's too particular to the point that it takes away from the quality of the record.
Yes, too much is going on.
His lyrical dexterity, there's nothing missing from the lyrical dexterity that this album provides.
Right.
But I realized how special the setup was. It's like, I know all the words to Roxanne Shantae's outro to the song. No, that was key. And it shows you how committed Havoc was to putting Roxanne Shante back on, because when the Queensbridge Finest album comes out, he's got the song We Live This, and who's on that with him? Roxanne Shante. Right.
A legend.
So I think Hav and Roxanne are related. Are they cousins? I think so. I think they're related.
I don't know if they're related, but I think they got some kind of connection down there.
There's some sort of connection that's going on. Yeah. But those are the things.
She's an OG. I mean, she's an OG.
She's the OG.
Queens. Yeah.
Yeah. So But
I mean,
these are the little things that are setting this album over the top.
yeah,
Like it's those moments. It's like, no, that's not Nas on the hook on the spark the lie. QBC always do or die in this
yeah, in
business.
this business to try
Trifling
this, we finesse this art. Come on, man. Like
all chef
it's
shit, respect shit.
it's
Albert
the
Einstein, minds
detail.
connect with,
Dangerous son, step back, let the tech
lift
lift
you up.
you up.
Left you with a shorty, then we set you up.
And then Nas come
Spark the
right,
lie.
right in there. Then he layered
Listen,
right in after that.
but it's pieced together so well. My nigga Have
Yeah,
got a soldier. It's going down, kid. You hear Have in the
yeah,
back going,
yes,
it's
it's
going
going
down,
down,
kid.
kid. Yeah,
No, that makes that song complete.
it
That
does.
makes it full
It's the small details. It's like you paint a
detail.
canvas with a big brush, but you come at with a smaller brush and start putting the smaller details in there that anyone who's actually understanding the art can see it. And that's what they did with every single song on there. Regardless of how you feel about the song, even from Black Girl Lost, regardless of how you don't let Jay make you feel that it's a Uchi Wale Wale, it's a Black Girl Lost. Don't let
I
Jay
mean,
fool you. That song then had a very interesting, it had a very meaningful point that he was making.
well, a lot of people don't even know. Like, well, that's inspired by the Donald Goines novel, Black Girl Lost.
Exactly.
So it's still
Exactly.
street rhetoric that's being spit on there.
Exactly. And
And
cool.
so
Who's on the hook of Black Girl Lost?
JoJo from Jodeci.
Come on.
Yeah, I already know. You already know Carolina in the
Come
house. You
on.
already know. I already know that. But
North
listen to
Carolina.
what he's saying. Listen. So let's talk about Black Girl Lost. Diamonds all shining, looking real fly, pretty little thing. Like he's breaking it down. Young girl struggling, trying to survive. Mother of the earth, she made you and I. Just tired of playing the same old games, messing with my mind, emotional things.
Yes.
Like he's saying some ill shit. Now I do think that that's the worst beat on that album.
Absolutely. The beat hurts. The beat is,
The
yeah,
beat hurts that
the beat
record.
is the thing. The beat is the thing. I wish we could have done better with the beat. But you're right. But the message and the song itself, you cannot say that there was one song on here that Nas missed the boat on rhyming and lyricism. You cannot say it concept wise. You cannot say he missed the boat on that. You can argue that beat wasn't the best. It wasn't the most fulfilling beat, but cool. That beat was positioned in the middle of a lot of great production.
Well, here's the
Black
other
Girl
part.
Lost was
Well,
number
here's the
Black Girl Lost was number 10 on that
it's
album.
track 10. Yeah.
Track 10.
Track 11 if Silent Murder's included, but yeah.
What came in front of Black Girl Lost? The setup.
The setup. Right. So this is another nuance about the album that I want to discuss.
Yeah.
Sounds very, very street.
Very.
People talking about he crossed over and he sold out. On the single The Street
Weird.
Dream, on the single The Street Dreams, the hook goes, street dreams are made of these. Niggas push Beamers in 300 E's. A drug dealer's destiny is reaching a key. Everybody's looking for something. Street dreams are made of these. Shorties on their knees for niggas with big G's. Who am I to disagree? That's street shit.
Yes.
That's
It's
not
all
that's
true.
not that's not supposed to be getting played on the radio.
Never. Never.
Not when you're
That
talking like that. It's not
no,
made for radio.
not at all. Not during that time. Anyhow, we were trying to get radio spins during that time.
Right.
Yeah,
He still kept it authentic to Queensbridge. Like this album is very, very Queensbridge the way
very
Illmatic
true.
is. It's just more polished. He's a
Way more
better songwriter. He's got a better team. There
better
are more
direction.
people that
Yes,
have their hands in the pot to make sure that this album is successful.
yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Like, think about this. How can this album be a crossover album when it's got The Message and Suspect and Shootouts and The
Shootouts,
Setup and Live Nigga Rap? I Gave You Power.
give you power.
These are
Take
not
in blood.
crossover records. These are street records. These are Queensbridge records in particular.
Yes, sound, aesthetic, all of that. It carries all of that. Let me get 007. 007 says on Illmatic, Nas is talking from his point of view. Or it was written. He is explaining from his point of view. Totally different approach on the mic. Absolutely, 00. Absolutely. Brandon Rogers, $10 chat. Thank you, Brandon. The affirmative action remix went hard. Boss, too. Absolutely. AG, Thank you for pulling up, AG. I'm not going to read your stuff, AG. You're already part of the team. Yo, AG, another super chat. Thank you, AG. We're not going to do that, AG. Shout out to AG, man. I hope you're doing good in that on that Glizzy Challenge today out there in West Virginia, the National Glizzy Challenge in West
So
Virginia.
the pettiness is high.
Yo, AG got that scarf and those glizzies in West Virginia is crazy. Wish you could have make it, bro. But I know you got better things to do with us. But now, Coop, you're right. You're right, man. I think that if you think about just the overall, like you said earlier, the production was one of the things that stood out. And they talk about Nas production. They talk about picking bad beats. When in all respect, this album probably has some of the best beats in 96 in comparison. And you're talking about a loaded 96 with loaded albums.
So here's the other thing that needs to be discussed. All right. So first of all, DJ Premier is on this album as a producer. So let's talk about the production.
Got Primo.
You got Preem for I Gave You Power. Is it the 3-pack that you got on Illmatic? No. That's why Havoc did 2 beats.
Yeah.
So the Preem situation gets canceled out with the fact that Preem did a track and then Havoc did 2. Okay?
True. Yes. Prime Havoc.
So that 3-pack, this is Prime Havoc.
Prime Havoc.
Now, Havoc learned how to program and organize drums from this guy named Q-Tip, who helped on the Infamous.
Yes.
Q-Tip's not there. Havoc is. Who taught Havoc?
Yes.
Q-Tip. Nas is following the lineage of Queens.
In every sense.
Following the Queens lineage, even down to the production choices. Like, well, I don't have Q-Tip this time, but times have changed a little bit. Like, this is not Low End Theory, Midnight Marauder time. This is Infamous Hell on Earth time.
I'm updating the hardware.
I'm updating my software. You niggas still got Windows 96?
Yes.
I got Windows 98. I got half instead of Q-Tip. Okay?
Absolutely.
I don't think people understand this. Name one other hip hop classic where Dr. Dre and DJ Premier have a beat on it. Name one. I'll wait. Name one other rap classic of this ilk where Primo and Dre have production on there. So listen to what I'm saying. Dr. Dre, DJ Premier, and Havoc are on this album, right? I don't care what anybody says about Nas is coming in terms of his connectivity. That's still a dope Dr. Dre beat.
That's still a dope Dr. Dre beat. Honestly, again, that was one of my favorite joints in real time. When that came out, I was playing that over and over and over.
It made Fat Tape in the Source. Remember the Fat Tape?
It did.
The first Fat Tape off of It Was Written.
It did.
Was Nas Is Coming.
Yes. Dre talking on the front end and on the back end. Stakes were high. No one wanted to talk about that, but during this time, that was one of the songs that let you know the stakes were high.
Listen to what he's saying. While niggas is riffing and beefing over this bullshit.
Yes.
Let's get this money.
Let's
get paid. Nasty Nas, Dr. Dre, making it happen.
Yes.
That's big.
Yes.
It's bigger than big.
It is. Because you got the biggest influence of the West Coast at that time, rocking with the East Coast legend at this time. It hasn't been done. And this is in the midst of the so-called East Coast, West Coast beef.
Right. That's what people don't understand. This is in the midst of the war.
It's in the midst of the war.
This is in the midst of it.
Yes.
Pac and Big are still around when this record got made.
Active. Pac was active at this time.
Majorly active. Big was majorly active with his guest appearances and with Junior Mafia and with Making Life After Death.
Because cool. Guess what came after a week after this album dropped? Hit 'Em Up. Hit 'Em Up was dropped a week after it was written drop. Literally a week after it was
dropped. Why you think the number one reason they don't toss it up that you hear Pac saying no longer Dre Day, Arriva Dirche, is because he's seen him fucking with Nas.
Right.
He like,
I,
hold on, this nigga Nas
yo,
coming out to Cali to do a Firm
yeah,
album with Dre? Fuck these niggas.
yeah. And what he said, Nas is the ringleader. Yo, the ringleader.
Yeah.
Not
So this
big.
is so
God
the
bless.
so
Not
these
big.
are God rest his soul. These are historical moments of epic proportions. When Nas and
Yeah.
Dre get together, the only thing that was comparable to that is when Ice Cube got with Bomb Squad
Yes.
to do America's Most. It's
Right.
the only
Right.
thing comparable. But
Yes.
as far as a one-off
At that time.
goes,
As far as
we don't
war
have,
goes,
we don't have a one-off like this where the
no,
best lyricist and the best MC on the East Coast gets a track from the best guy on the West Coast. We don't have that.
we don't have that.
But
No.
guess what? But guess what? We got it a whole bunch after. You want to know why? Because they set the trend with that record.
Yep.
Now all these East Coast niggas got beats from Dre. Where did that start? That started with Nas on It Was Written.
Absolutely.
That's important. That's
Absolutely.
cultural impact.
Yes.
That's influence. So even
Influence.
if you don't think the record is like there, the moment is there. It's not just always about the record, it's about the moments that the records
The moment.
create.
It's the
And
moment.
lyrically, like on most things that he did, from 94 to 96, oh, it's peak form. That's peak Nas on there.
It's peak.
In the black limo, Jack Daniel through the crack window. I
Come
spot
on.
the fake, red dot his face like a Hindu.
Put Policio, Nas, yo, Fly Gangster. Come on.
So these moments are big.
Big. Flow like the now covered surface. I bit the fruit from the serpent. I mean, come on, man. Like it's just
Shootout?
it's a different vibration. It's he's talking
Different.
different. He's acting different. He's everything about son that song was different.
So,
Everything.
understand this. Illmatic, I didn't realize this till today. And here's where the Rakim comparison is valid. The Rakim comparison is more valid if you look at the album transition than even like the bar style.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what I mean when I say that. Oh no, the songs on Paid in Full are more classic and more memorable than the ones on Follow the Leader. Go listen to Follow the Leader. Ask me is he a better MC on Paid in Full or on Follow the Leader? Because the answer is Follow the Leader.
Yes.
And much like Illmatic, are the songs on there more classic than the songs when it was written? Yes. Do they resonate with that part of the culture more? Yes. Is he a better MC? Yes. So much like Rakim was ahead of the curve and then jumped up the curve another notch, Nas did the same thing 10 years later.
That's when he figured it out.
He figured it out. And the reason that this classic has grown more than any other classic has grown is because I've always said Rakim was further ahead of the curve than anybody has ever been. And I got to take that comment back because It Was Written classic nature and how it's grown over time is actually proof positive that Nas was ahead of the curve the same way that Rakim was.
Yes.
It Was Written is the proof of how far ahead of the curve that he was, because when he dropped it, people were like, oh, he sold out. This isn't as good as Illmatic. Now it's almost 30 years later, and it's like a lot of people think it's better than Illmatic. And the legend of it in terms of how it rises through our classic album ranks literally continues to grow every 5 to 7 years.
He was
That means you're ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That
He's
means
ahead.
your music is outpacing the era that was actually dropped in. If you go, and again, I hate to keep bringing up the J comparison, but if you go back and you listen to volume 2 or volume 3, it sounds like 98. It sounds like 99.
Mhm.
It sounds like it should be placed in there. But you go back and you listen to It Was Written. Although it was released in 96, it still resonates today. Sonically, lyrically, impactful wise, all of that.
Well, this is what I'm saying when I mean he's ahead of the curve. Well, 96 is the most loaded year.
It
right?
is.
And so when It Was Written came out, it would seem to be on par with a lot of albums. Go back and listen to those albums now and go back and listen to It Was Written. Like, go listen to De La Soul Stakes Is High. It's not fucking with It Was Written, respectfully. Muddy Waters, as much as I love Muddy Waters, and I love me some Muddy Waters.
Not touching it.
AT Aliens by Outkast, which I personally adore dearly.
Great album. Great
Not
album.
Hell on Earth by Mobb Deep. No.
Phenomenal.
Look, The biggest record that year, the two biggest records that year, All Eyes on Me and The Score. All Eyes on Me still stands next to it. The Score,
Yeah.
not so much. Reasonable Doubt was considered to be a better album. Are you sure? Are you sure?
Not even
You don't
close.
want to go song for song. You don't want to go song for song.
It's not close. It's not
It's
close.
close. It's close. It's just like if we pick these 13 tracks versus these 13 tracks, play them, run them one by one.
Mm-hmm.
It's in a lot of trouble. It's in a lot of trouble. You get what I'm saying? And so the legend of the album has grown. Listen, the talk on Suspect and Shootouts, that's for the neighborhood. Like on Shootouts, he's literally putting Wiz, Jungle, Killer. They're all in the record. On Affirmative Action, Foxy's bringing up Jungle, E-Money Bags, rest in peace. Like, no, this a street album. E-Money Bags a street dude.
It's street. Queens get the money.
Street dude.
Yes.
Their stories they still talk about him up there.
They'll talk about him. He did not care at all. God bless his soul.
Right.
He was
like other people have talked about the things that he's done and only comfortable talking about the things that he's done because he's gone and he can't get life for it now because his life has already been taken.
Yeah.
So this album is very, very street live nigga rap. Listen, what's the name of the song called? So when you really break down this album, outside of If I Rule the World, it's a very street album. And even if I
Rule the World is street.
And even if you listen to If I Rule the World, I'd open every cell in Attica, send them to Africa. That's not made for TV or made for mainstream.
It might sound far, but every girl I meet will go downtown.
I make Coretta Scott King mayor of the city.
Yeah.
It's very, very pro-black and very street. Yes. It's just polished.
It's just polished. He's wearing the wallabies on it in the video with Lauryn Hill on the hook.
They fooled us all. They polished it up so well that we didn't realize it was a street album.
The greatest trick.
Polished it up so well. Pause.
Yeah,
that we forgot it was a street album. It's like, oh yeah, it's like his street credibility is gone. It's like actually street credibility is more intact. Actually telling more street stories on It Was Written than on Illmatic.
Yes. Yes.
Illmatic doesn't have a shootouts, Suspect, and the setup, and I Gave You Power on there.
Talking
it's
about
got Memory Lane. It's got Memory Lane and New York State of Mind. It represent.
Right. But those are more close to home type of stories.
These are stories.
These are story. You're talking about crooked cops. You're talking about chicks setting you up. You're talking about, you know what I'm saying?
He run behind niggas until he breathless. Every day making 10 arrest shit. My nigga, check this. I know the bitch he rests with.
Even blessed it.
Already
telling you stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this album, I can't think of one hip hop classic that's grown the way that this album has grown. But the reason that it's grown is because of all the nuances. He's obviously the headliner. His bar work and his bar game is obviously the headlining thing.
Yeah.
But all those little pieces. Think about this. Stretch did Silent Murder and Take It in Blood. So you telling me you got Stretch, Havoc, Premier, Dre,
Trackmasters.
Trackmasters did The Message.
Yeah.
Trackmasters did Shootouts.
Yeah. And it did the remix to Street Dreams. Which to me, I think the remix is better than the original.
Remix is better than
the original. Yes.
So don't tell me that the production's not there. Like he replaced Large Professor and Q-Tip and Pete Rock with Stretch and Havoc and Dr. Dre.
And it was okay.
Look, on a bad day, that's a wash. Possibly a leg up. Inserting Dr. Dre and DJ Premier on the same album is a leg up production-wise on everybody, even if it's one record apiece.
Absolutely.
So this album is more flawless than we realize. It really, really is. Like if I could change anything, the only things that I would really change is I would change the whole Slave Master intro part, and I would just go into the Nas and AZ part, and I would change the beat to Watch Them Niggas and Black Girl Lost. Everything else is like, fucking flawless victory, which is why I wanted to go track by track and actually rate the songs right quick before we go over to Station Head,
Yeah.
and rate what we think the best verses are.
Okay.
So
Let me get this two super chats real quick. Michael Williams at $5 says, "Imagine Street Jeans remix where the version that made the album would have been even more legendary. That might be Nas' best ever flow rhyme scheme." I don't disagree. Brandon Rogers also the $5 chat states the message pissed off Big, Jay-Z, Tupac at the same time.
all in
Yeah,
one swoop.
all in one swoop. All in one swoop. Even the
Hold
promo in New York was like that. The promo had the said one life for love, so there can only be one king.
How
That
about
was a
this?
promo.
Name somebody else walking around other than him that's literally had Pac pissed off, had
Yeah,
Big pissed off, had Jay pissed off, had 50 pissed off. Name
yeah.
the guy. Cam. Name a
Cam,
guy. Name a guy that big, that nice, that can get in those guys' feelings. Because this is the
yeah.
only guy.
The only guy.
All of them.
The only guy.
All of them.
Your Deuce said, no doubt, Deuce. Glad you all did. It was written. It doesn't get talked about enough. No, that's what we here for, man. Like, yo, it was written should be one of those albums that should be studied like Illmatic, in my opinion, just because of the nuance to it was written, just because of the theme behind it was written. That it was written. Legend is just as major as I Am Legend, as major as the Illmatic Legend, in my opinion, because he was still young. Nas was still very young when it was
21,
written.
22, 21, 22.
21, 22. He was still young when it was written came out. You know what I mean? And he was in the midst of a lot that was going on. He was the big three. He
Look,
was one of the big three.
LP is up in the chat too. He's like, yeah, Prodigy, Cormega, Beans, Jim Jones, Bleak. Like, yeah, a lot of niggas had a problem. You want to know why they had a problem? Listen to what I'm saying. Oh, you only have a problem when you hear somebody and you feel like he might be better than you. That's the real problem at the end of the day. Because think about this. Pac and Big shouldn't have had a problem. Pac and Big were bigger at the time. You know why they had a problem? Because they might have been bigger. They listened to It Was Written. It's like, I might be bigger, but I don't know if I'm better.
Right. But you said Big called him. Big said, yo, you got the monkey off your back. Big called because he knew what It Was Written was. Mm-hmm. They knew Illmatic was like the meteorite that just struck Earth. We're not going to figure that out until years later because you got to see what it brings. You know what I mean? You got to see what happened, what kind of evolution it brings after it hit Earth. That was Illmatic because Illmatic forced MCs. Yeah, that's all it was because they forced MCs to evolve. It forced them to learn a different flow pattern. It forced them to learn how to be very detailed and intricate in their flow. It went from the rat-a-tat, from the rat-a-tat flows or just the boom bap flow. It went to be, I got to pay more attention when I'm writing. I need to be more intentional.
The very same way that Follow the Leader made people like Cool G Rap go back and rework their style.
Rework your style. Figure it out again. Because what you're doing right now, you're
not going to be able to keep up with this guy if you don't figure out a better way to do this. That's why Pac is studying It Was Written. That's why Big is studying It Was Written. It's like, oh no, I can't let this nigga leave me behind.
I can't do it because now I'm primitive. My flow is primitive in comparison to this guy.
Like, I love Big, but the rocket launcher, Biggie stomped ya, high as a motherfucking helicopter. That's not going to work against It Was Written.
No.
Not. That's why you hear him do stuff on Life After Death like, ha, 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 ha. Check out this bizarre rapping style.
Performed by me. Yeah.
Yeah. He made niggas switch their flows up, including Big and Pac, while they were here.
When he said Nas is menage a trois or my airy lodges, I'm not a cool fan, but rougher than El DeBarges.
Yeah.
That rhyme in itself is hard to even say without even.
Yeah, Breath Control. Catching charges like a marksman, living heartless. Catch them on some mob shit. We mobbing, putting niggas in mausoleums. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
You're not playing with it. You're not playing fair when you do stuff like that.
You're not. Well, and here's just the overall thesis. He's ahead of everybody else in 96 too, and that's why it took us so long to catch up and appreciate the album. He was so far ahead of the curve that we really didn't understand what we were getting until a lot of time had passed, and until his subsequent releases. Like, It Was Written actually became special to me when Stillmatic came out, like super special, because then I was like, oh no, he's still that guy, but it's not as special as that guy. And then I realized it's like, oh shit, nobody may ever be as special as that guy again.
No.
On the mic. And that's the beautiful thing about it.
Yes, sir.
We got time to rate the songs, or we need to slide? I think we need to slide.
I think we need to slide.
Yeah.
Now you can, if you want to take the you want to go solo mission, I can get everything set up on Station Head. You want to go ISO?
No. We're gonna make teamwork make the dream work. Because if you leave me here alone, I'm just gonna talk for another hour.
Please, yo, look, we can double duty. We got the chat is live right now.
No. I want everybody over at Station Head. Because here's the thing: the things that I can break down on this live, well, we can break down on the Station Head in between the records.
Let's do it then. Pause.
Yeah.
Yo, everybody, appreciate y'all rolling up. Like, subscribe, share. Like, subscribe, share. Follow us on Station Head. We're about to go live on Station Head. We're gonna play some music and have some more conversations on Station Head. We're gonna talk about the concert, and we're gonna talk about the actual we're gonna talk more about It Was Written. So follow us back on Station Head. Grab you a drink, grab whatever you need, and come roll with us, come rock with us a little bit more. All right, let's get it. Peace.